things. One is the importance of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
She's 9, so she's having sleepovers, and she went to bed the other day at 1:30, not at my house, at her mum's house.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came to pick her up, she was just beside herself tired. Eyeballs rolling the back of her head. She was crying because she was just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And she'd slept, because when they go to bed late, they still wake up at the same time. So she was dead tired. And she went to sleep like an hour early in my house, which is unheard of. So the importance of sleep, and she's starting to understand that. And that, when we ask you to go to bed, we're not just saying it for the hell of it or the fun of it. You need sleep for you to grow and develop your brain and be alert for the next day. Kids just need more. So that's the first one. The importance of keeping active, and then avoid as much sugar and fatty foods as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Less sugar.
Yeah.
Especially like Poppy, our girl, because our boy he's disabled, so he can't get hold of sugar, but she can, and she's a sugar addict. So that'd be the best one thing I'd love her not to do, and just read a little bit more.
As a parent, you want the best to your children, and you still push them to the highest limit.
Yeah.
And using a gadget to, using the, how to say this, like the disadvantage and the harmful thing, the gadgets, turning it into something useful for them would be great.
Yeah. Do you think, so would it display information for you, your partner, and the kids as well?
Well, if you wanted it to, you could have a line item per person. So if it's just the week where the kids aren't there, and they're obviously not around to upload data, the screen would become larger. The two people in the screen would just take the whole space, and 50-50, and then you'd have more metrics to look at. And then once somebody gets added, it either recognises them and then it adds them automatically when they come into the house, something like that. I don't know. Surely you can do something like that.
Yeah.
And then you just get less metrics, and then for me, I'd say, all right, the metrics I want to see in order from 1 to 10 are, and then it can only show a certain amount. So depending on how many people are actually in the house and on the screen, you just get to see, if there's 4 there, you can only fit 5 per, instead of the 10, but you've got it in your order that you care about. But you can always, I imagine it would be a touch screen. So you could touch that and see, and yours would become enlarged, and then you could minimise it back, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Tracking their health, definitely maybe integrating to tracking her sleep as well, where she doesn't have to have like a fancy watch, but just something that's very simple, that doesn't cost a lot of money, but can talk to the machine. And it's just like something rubber, no screen, so they don't get like all wrapped up in playing something, and that's just like, I think something like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Would she be open to wearing it?
Of course, yeah. If it's something just simple, you know what I mean, like something like rubbery or something like that, that's got its little electronics in it, something like that, that's comfortable.
Like how much calories we have burned, how much calories we intake. How many active minutes, what we did. Like I said, if I have set goals of 2 hours walking, because it's winter, it's not practical also to walk, so only 2 hours for winter. So then I can keep track, keep writing for the whole week. I can make 4 sections of the board and keep track of each of us, so that keeps us motivated.
If I have something like this, a checklist which says you've done this and done this and done this, and even they can do it themselves, would make it easier for them and for me, because then they know they need to finish this without me nagging to do it, or and I can say, for example, something like this internet thing, like when you're done with this in holidays, and only holidays, so I can control only 2 weeks. So in the 2 weeks, when you're done with this, you can have your phones, something like this. So they will be eager to just tick it, so that they can have their phone.
If she's done enough of what exercise for what they say is correct for her age, which I would have not know. I wouldn't even know what is the correct amount either.
Yeah.
But it'd be good to know that she is on the right sort of track exercise-wise.
I would like to see it like this is horizontal, but I was expecting it like vertical, so I can see if it is mom, dad, Jack, Jill, and Gail.
Yeah.
So I would like to see same for if it is like gym visit, so yes or no for each and every yes, so that we can compare, and how many steps. At the same time, here I have to see, okay, for this, that, different. But if it is vertical, I would like to see that in columns in another one.
I guess more prompting me that I haven't done what I was supposed to have done for the day.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I haven't done much today. So I've only done 5,500 steps today. So I guess if it said to me, hey, you know, you need to get moving, like these ones used to, they'd come up with a message sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
A prompt to, you know, you need to get moving to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
I find really good because I do swimming is some sort of app that can log how many kilometres I've done over 2019, so that I can log into it and go, okay, today I swam 3 kilometres and put that in, and it'd be quite a good motivator to see, okay, over the first 6 months of 2019 I've swum 100 kilometres or something like that. So something that's kind of tracking. And I know a weakness for me is going to bed early, so something that's just sending you a message to say now's the time to start unwinding, say at 9 o'clock or 9:30, and half an hour later, come on, time to go to bed. So something that's
Yeah, I just think that the things that I don't want to get too carried away with this type of stuff, obviously, because with kids, with adults, you can have heart rate and stuff like that. That's more relevant, but you wouldn't want to be doing. It has to be relevant to the age of the person. I wouldn't want to be talking about high cholesterol or something like that for a 7-year-old, or blood pressure for a 9-year-old.
Absolutely.
So I could have those, for example, but they would have different ones, like maybe. Definitely like steps. Sleep is a good one. Sleep's a very good one.
Yeah.
Steps, sleep.
What about things like, you know, they have a 2-hour screen time allowance, and it actually has like a countdown or something like that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. As always, in how much screen time have they had?
Yeah. So
that would be good. I don't know how you work that out, but that'd be really good.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Or maybe, you know, if it's not, I'm not sure, you know, if you can track, but if it's not tracking how much screen time they've had, but maybe it has a countdown, so it's got 2 hours, and then once an hour and a half passed, it's like you've got 30 minutes left.
Yeah, and it beeps the watch or something like that. Yeah, that's good. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
What do you think?
Because you kind of feel like you're doing it as a group, so it's good. You kind of got a shared goal of all being healthy and wellness and fit and so on, so it's good.
Yeah.
Like where she is right at that point, and actually where she's been, like for the last, where she hasn't been with us, where has she been, what is the actual movements?
Yeah.
Like a trail. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm not like monitoring her, like I don't do this. But if I'm worried about her, like if she's taking the bus, like my daughter is exempted from sport because of her accident.
Yeah.
So she goes to school late on once a week. When she goes to school late, I'm worried because I know the bus is empty. So that's the time when sometimes I get worried, especially when she calls me and tells me, oh, there is a man who looks weird and he's standing there or drunk or something, and it seems that he's taking the bus with me. So she is the one who prompted me to look at that.
In terms of using Wi-Fi or internet, and you could say, you know, you've got 10 hours to use on the internet this week, and so it actually has a countdown. So
great idea. Yeah, great.
So then they sort of learn maybe about the value of using.
Yeah, I've been trying to look into that to find that for our iPad, to find something exactly like those lines. Like she's only got half an hour left tonight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or, you know, she gets an hour before bed.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then it turns off. No more internet, no more, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Because she, you know, you'll say 1 hour and then, you know, it never happens. One more show or one more thing.
Yeah.
But if you have something in place where that's it, it's done, It's great.
Something I'd like is if the board, could turn all their things off.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So like,
So after 2 hours, it's turns off.
shut
internet.
down all their electronic devices.
Yeah.
My daughter spends that much time FaceTiming, and if I take the phone off her, then she goes and gets the iPad and she starts playing a game called Roblox on the iPad,
Yeah, right.
which also then is interactive with her friends, and then she asks for the phone back because she needs to talk to her friends about something in the
Roblox.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing that everybody, like, it's just the reality of our life today. I think every parent struggles with
It's
screen
so
time.
annoying. The FaceTiming does my head in because I guess it's the talking all the time. Yeah. And the fact that, it's like you've been at school with these kids all day, and then as soon as you come home, you start FaceTiming them,
Do they have like a screen time limit? When
Yeah,
they're-
but we don't say it's half an hour or something, but we do kind of say after dinner time to get off screens.
Yeah, okay. So it's like a rule in the house.
Yeah, and also the way we get them off screen is saying, okay, we're going to take the dog out for a walk now. Come on.
Yeah, okay. That's a good way.
Yeah, that's the kind of way to break the cycle and go get off your screens. We're going to
Yeah.
take the dog out.
Like now school holidays, so like couple of hours,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they want to do, whether playing games, watching videos,
Mm-hmm.
but just couple of hours. And during school days, it's like 1 hour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there ever, an issue with the taking
Always.
longer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Daily. If it is 1 hour, then they take 2. If it is 2, then not less than 3. So I try to give them less so that
Yeah.
they feel okay, it's good now. I was allowed for 1 hour, but now I'm doing for 2 hours, so they become happy. But if I'm given for 2 hours, then I will not give more than that because they have glasses and all of that.
Yeah, right.
The number is
On contrary, I try to restrict the internet, restrict
Yeah.
the technology. Otherwise, they're holding it all day. During school time, for example, I cannot control it much because they study on iPad.
Right.
And I don't know what they're doing. So they say they study, but then I go and find them doing something else. And it's annoying, and I cannot cut the internet or do anything because their study is depending on the internet on iPad.
Yeah.
But then holiday, like now, I completely close the internet, for example.
Yeah.
So, and they are not happy because they think it's related to NBN. It's just coincident that with the time with NBN, I did this in the router. So I stopped all their access to internet now on holiday.
Like admin types, like bills due for the week. Like if there's any bills I have to pay, or like any documents that have to be completed, or any like that whole admin, renew insurance, or anything all that type of stuff. Pay bills, update credit card details, or something like that. So all that admin crap that you really just don't enjoy doing.
Yep.
And it seems to, between all the things, it always seems to come up on not a weekly basis, but there's something there every month from someone else, so I get emails from it or something like that, but I just don't pay attention to it sometimes.
Yeah.
So something like that. Maybe healthy. Maybe if it's on the fridge, maybe healthy ideas for meals. That would be cool.
I guess appointments, if it showed appointments, what have I got on today? Because with 3 kids, undoubtedly there's, things I've got to go and do for them, or meetings at their schools, or things like that.
Yeah.
When my rugby games are, I go
Do
to
you-
Then just like events, maybe separately. When I call it event, like there's a birthday party here, or you're meeting the boys for dinner on this night. So things like that, just to know, or remember that you're going to see your partner's parents on the weekend, to buy chocolates if they're inviting you for dinner, or something like, just things like that.
Yep.
Be prepared. Those type of things.
What about your kids? Is there anything that could be displayed for for your kids?
Well, yeah, the idea is some healthy meal options that they'll eat.
Mhm.
And
Is that
the homework thing.
for them to do the homework?
Yeah, just a reminder, or just what they're doing, or just because that's they can be a bit lazy, or even like
Is it
as in prepping for the next morning. So make sure that everything's done, because there's some days we just leave and they've forgotten something in their bag. So maybe just a list of lunchbox, what goes in the lunchbox. Make sure that their homework they've got a homework folder. Make sure that's packed in the bag. You know, obviously it's a bit logistical. I've got to take the bag.
On a whiteboard on our fridge.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've actually got a whiteboard on the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
I've
that
only
everybody
just
can
bought my
see it.
daughter an iPhone for school,
Yeah.
for walking, because she's just started to walk to and from school.
That's gotta be handy.
Well, it was costing me money every day to put her in after school care,
Yeah, right.
and it's only like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
But
So now at least you know where she is.
well, now I know where she is, and now she's got the phone. She seems a lot more secure
Yeah.
in herself,
Yeah.
confident. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know, there is a research on this that says that a human brain cannot handle more than 7 criteria.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a criteria meaning like a multi-criteria when you were taking a decision. But actually, I think even with my age and the busy things, I cannot handle more than 7, or not even 7. I think 3 or 4. So if I have 3 errands, I can manage. But if it gets higher, I just write a to-do list.
Yeah. Do you just write it on paper or
One
on phone?
one sticky note, but not several. Just one, and then I cross.
Okay.
A diary, and my partner tends to put it on the calendar on his phone. I actually use a paper diary to keep on top of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just write all appointments in it. I know it's kind of old school, but it's actually really good having
No,
a paper
yeah.
diary. Yeah.
And do you do that daily? Do you?
Yeah, I
review
do it daily, and I
Yeah.
cross things off when I've done things, and then if there's things I need to remember to do tomorrow, I write in the diary. So, for example, if this appointment today, I write that
Yeah.
in the diary,
Yeah, right.
and then I don't forget. Yeah.
Yeah. And your partner, you said,
He
has
puts
got
the
like
appointments
a
on his phone. He just,
calendar.
yeah, it's just, he's got an Apple iPhone, and he just puts appointments in the
Yeah.
calendar. But it's funny, I'm using a paper diary, and I find I'm better at keeping track of things because I
Yeah.
look at the diary every day, and sometimes he'll forget to put it in his phone, and then he forgets appointments because he hasn't looked.
A writing one.
Yeah.
That my wife will write in,
On the wall.
and I'll write. Yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
write in, and it'll just give us both communication,
Visibility.
visibility, and
Yeah.
both like communicating with us without going. Remember, I told you.
Yeah.
And then they get no ifs. If it's on there, it's like it's
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
What if you had? I'm just brainstorming.
Mhm.
If you had like a digital calendar, so the one
Mhm.
that you have now, but it was updated digitally,
Mhm.
and you could speak to your Google Home and say, you know, the 5th I have an interview with Kat, book it in at 4 p.m.
Mhm.
And then that just appears. So you kind of didn't. You just had to say it to Google, and then that appears in the calendar.
Pretty cool.
And then maybe you get a reminder on your phone.
Yeah,
or
very
something
helpful.
Like
Yeah, very helpful.
that. Okay.
And if you could look at it, like as a daily planner as well, if there was a screen on it, that would be great.
Yeah, something like this, like a club, because you don't want as well the visitors to the family to see all the details of what the family is doing. So maybe something when you touch it, just the dashboard appears,
Yeah.
and then after a few seconds, the clock.
To sort of consistently display that information,
No.
or what happens when you're not using it.
No, I wouldn't want to. No, I wouldn't show the actual scores. No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
What would happen when you're not looking at it?
When I'm not looking at it, it either dim down, do nothing, and I call it when I want to see it,
Yeah.
or whoever wants to call it, they can see it.
Yeah.
Or just have the weekly calendar or the daily calendar there
Okay. Yep.
showing, one of that. But no, I wouldn't want to have it be pumped into us where we walk in there and this is all we're focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not looking at it,
Mhm.
would it make more sense to have it as an app on, say, like a tablet, rather than a product in the house, or do you still see the value of having it in the house?
I think I do see the value of having an house just for the accessibility of showing the family what are we, than just looking on a phone.
Like, I wouldn't want one of my kids picking on another one
Yeah.
because they hadn't done enough exercise, or they mightn't want, I guess, privacy. They mightn't want their brother to know what their status is, sort of thing. So if you could, somehow choose to either display or not display your information.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't want to have to type in too much. I just don't want it to be too time consuming.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't mind if it's a bit, like I can just, especially be good if it's set up so that if the things that you're regularly putting, like say swimming, that it automatically selects favourites. So for swimming, I can just click swimming and then go 2 kilometres, so I don't have to keep typing it in every time. Like it's got some favourites. And my partner Adam goes to the gym regularly, so if he can just click gym, 30-minute spin class or something, yeah, that would be good.